The Conference of the Role of the Private Sector in the Development of Agriculture and Rural Development in Vietnam by the Embassies of Denmark and the Central Institute for Economic Management was held in Hanoi. It aimed to share the results of the program Global Competitiveness Facility for Private Enterprises in Vietnam, or GCF, in the period from 2010 to 2013. The success stories and experiences during the support of private enterprises in Vietnam to enhance export competitiveness in 8 targeted provinces, including Thanh Hóa, Nghệ An, Phú Yên, Khánh Hòa, Đắk Lắk, Lâm Đồng, An Giang, and Cần Thơ. Having been started in Vietnam since 2006, the program Global Competitiveness Facility, or GCF, is a fund under the Enterprise Development Support sponsored by DANIDER, Danish International Development Agency. The objective of the fund is to provide financial support and improve the competitiveness of Vietnamese private enterprises to export-oriented, and support the development of the 16 value chains: air, tissue cultural, aquacultural, hybrid breeds, handicraft, etc. GCF program focused on training human resources, encourage business services commercially for small businesses and households. GCF tried to minimize the financial risks in the implementation of the innovative ideas, develop and launch new technologies and new business models in addition to access to new export markets. Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC 10 Net Việt. I'm Hồng Nhất. In our program today, we would have a chance to talk with Mr. Amarnath Reddy, expert of the Global Competitiveness Facility program, and he will share with us about the topic of supporting Vietnamese private enterprises in global competition. Thank you, Mr. Reddy, for joining our program today. First of all, can you share some information regarding to the Global Competitiveness Facility, or GCF program?
Global Competitiveness Facility is a part of the Danish Development Assistance to Vietnam in the Business Sector Program. It's a program with a budget of 216 billion Vietnamese dong to support the export competitiveness of Vietnam. It has been operated in 8 different provinces of Vietnam.
How do you evaluate the strength and the weaknesses of the Vietnamese private enterprises of the agricultural area in global competition?
The primary strength of the Vietnamese enterprises is their hard work, which results in low prices. However, the low price competitiveness, the way Vietnam is using it today, is unsustainable because the wages of Vietnamese workers are continuously rising, and it's not possible for Vietnam to continue to produce only low cost products. So the most important thing for Vietnamese is to be able to move to the next level and supply higher value products. But the challenge is that we do not have the right kind of training, and the human resources are still not ready for this. They also have challenges related to the availability of finance at a cost that is affordable and to be globally competitive.
What about the results of the Global Competitiveness Facility program in the period of 2010 to 2013?
We had supported 49 projects, out of which we can proudly say that 42 projects are successful. These have been spread out in the 8 different provinces, but most importantly, they have been spread out in 16 different value chains. And in all these value chains, they have handled challenges relating to production of new seeds, production of new breeds, using tissue culture to produce new plantlets. They've evolved new methods of training and technical assistance for the farmers, and they've been able to help companies reach new markets and make them globally competitive for the future.
During operation from 2006 to 2013, the program GCF has created nearly 30,000 jobs, trained new skills for 62,584 people, and increased capital by 502 billion dong, and increase export value by 4,603 billion dong. It also raised the income of target groups, such as farmers and households, from 10 to 200%. Apart from achieving positive results, GCF has also drawn some lessons learned. For example, not all projects develop value chain can affect farmers and the poorest households. Some projects are low risk, easy to succeed, sometimes cause market distortions, especially when the product is sold domestically.
I think our assessment is that this might have the potential to be nominated as one of the best projects that we have seen in Vietnam in terms of return on the development investments. That is with respect to poverty reduction, sustainability and job creation. Our hope is that it will really be used for future programs to take the lessons learned. There are a lot of good innovations here, and we have created a very good network among the companies that is very good for future knowledge sharing and sharing of experiences and lessons learned. And we will still, from the Embassy of Denmark, also be supporting SMEs in Vietnam, and we will still try to use this network we have established.
Đối với dự án của GCF tài trợ thì họ tập trung vô 3 cái mảng chính. Thứ nhất là về hỗ trợ với doanh nghiệp, về có thể là đổi mới về trang thiết bị máy móc. Một số cái công nghệ lạc hậu thì có thể thay dần bằng một số máy mới để đáp ứng được cái là công nghệ cao và tạo ra được cái sản phẩm chất lượng cao. Ngoài ra đó thì cũng giúp doanh nghiệp để tạo ra được cái mạng lưới nông dân để làm sao đó thu được cái nguyên liệu đầu vào, đáp ứng được cái chất lượng sản phẩm. Thì ban đầu đối với doanh nghiệp mình thì có chỉ có 100 nông dân trong mạng lưới thôi. Nhưng sau khi được cái dự án hỗ trợ thì mạng lưới nông dân mình tăng lên khoảng 5 đến 600 trong cái mạng lưới nông dân của mình. Ngoài ra thì doanh nghiệp cũng nhận được cái hỗ trợ của GCF để làm sao để tập trung vào cái mảng thị trường để có thể là đăng ký thương hiệu và có thể phát triển về thị trường cho sản phẩm của mình.
So far, the Danish capital to support Vietnam in the economic development is equivalent to 25% of the total financial support of the entire European Union, according to which Denmark is the country's largest financial support for Vietnam in the European Union. In the period of 2014 to 2015, Denmark will disburse approximately $90 million of ODA for Vietnam. In the context of the country's open economy and international integration, competitiveness of enterprises is one of the determinants of national competitiveness. Therefore, the competitiveness enhancement of enterprises, especially the private ones, accounting for a large share in the economy of Vietnam, would open many opportunities for a rapid and sustainable development. Can you share one of the specific example of the business model or the services that the program has successfully supported?
There are several models that GCF has supported, and many of them very successful. But to me, the most impressive one is the model of being able to train small farmers and households using private sector basis. We have a model. We have worked with a company in Dak Lak province called as CDC. They have been able to train over 10,000 farmers in cocoa and coffee area, and these farmers have all been trained at a cost which is as low as 200,000 Vietnamese dong per day, which is inclusive of the cost of the venue, trainers, food, training material, everything. And these costs are usually paid by private companies who want the farmers to perform better. So we have been able to develop a model where the farmers are able to continuously get the new knowledge, but at the same time they don't have the capacity to pay and they don't have to pay. But the cost is also so low that many processors and exporters can use such services, and we believe that such a model will be extended to the rest of Vietnam because it is very successful.
What are the main advantages and disadvantages that the program has to cope with in Vietnam?
The first advantage that we have is that there are a lot of companies and farmers who are willing to work very hard and learn new practices. But the major disadvantage that we face is the quality of the human resources, because we know very well that most of the small and medium enterprises are currently not able to hire the best quality human resources. And a good part of our program requires that we need quality human resources to absorb the new technologies. And that's where we have faced a very, very difficult challenge, because we had to spend almost twice the amount of money, twice the amount of time to be able to train for what the human resources should have had when they come out of the universities. But I think it's about time that the education system trains people in a manner that is much more relevant to the industry rather than very theoretical, because we see a lot of times in these projects that there are young people coming with very, very theoretical basis and not having the capacity to learn the practical aspects.
After the program, what are the experience lessons that the Vietnamese private enterprises should learn to compete in the global market?
The first thing I would say is all these enterprises should try and have a vision and mission which is larger than the family of the owner, because we see a lot of enterprises just doing enough to earn a good livelihood for the family. But we need enterprises which can think larger and bigger. The second thing is they should need to develop strong strategic plans for the future to succeed. The third thing, and the most important thing to me, is to be able to hire the most intelligent and the best quality human resources and invest in training these people, and afterwards invest in retaining them, because if you don't pay them well enough, there are other sectors that would take them away. So if the small and medium enterprises can retain these human resources, then they should move on to the next step, which is again the most valuable thing, is to be able to access finance at the least possible cost. And if you have the finance, then you should be able to upgrade your technologies as you go along and be flexible towards the needs of the markets, because as we know, the global markets are continuously changing, and what you learn today may not be relevant in 1 or 2 years' time. So the Vietnamese enterprises should always be prepared to upgrade themselves with what is happening in the world. And this you can do if you have the right human resources and the financial capacities to do that.
So I think those are very good experiences for Vietnamese private enterprises. So what are the next programs and the projects that the Danida and the GCF program will launch in the future to support Vietnamese private enterprises, especially in the agriculture area?
We also find that the overall model of using technology, innovation to be able to drive inclusive economic growth is something that a lot of other donors have started appreciating, and we find donors like UK Aid, Swiss Development Corporation, Canadian CEDA, World Bank, all of them in cooperation with the Vietnamese government operating programs. And hence we feel that as far as Danida is concerned, we move away from this area where there are many others who are operating, since we have proven the model, and we will be working in the area of green growth, supporting energy efficiency for SMEs, because that's an area which is very, very important for not only the SMEs, but for Vietnam, which is likely to be in short of energy supplies in a few years to come. So we would again try to look at new models as to how we can encourage SMEs to support energy efficiency development in this country.
Thank you, Mr. Amanat Reddy, for your sharing. The Global Competitiveness Facility Program is just one typical example of the program that support Vietnamese private enterprises. And I do hope that there will be a lot more projects and programs that support Vietnamese private enterprises to compete with the global market and bring the Vietnamese products brands closer worldwide. That is also the end of our program today. For comments and feedbacks, please send it at sharingvietnam@netviettv.net. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.